Here, you can exercise your rights to freedom every day without leaving your home. We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk right here on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. So my first guest possesses one of the most relished and loved voices in South African popular music. She was first introduced to us in 1997 as part of a band that helped shape the sound of a new South Africa, the first band of this generation to win accolades from all over the world and capture the hearts and minds of audiences across the African continent, album after album. In 2007, after enjoying huge successes with the multi-award-winning band Mafikizolo, this diverse artist, mother, entrepreneur, and wife embarked on a solo album called Inguquko, a move that was both ambitious and challenging for her. As if starting a solo career after years of being in a very successful band wasn't challenging enough, Nhlanhla launched her African couture fashion house named NN Vintage, and I have a few items from there myself. She's faced many difficulties in both her private and public life, but came out stronger, wiser. She joins us today to have a chat down memory lane through her career highlights, life lessons, and of course the future. It is such a pleasure to welcome Nhlanhla with us in studio. We'll welcome you to Real Talk.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much.
I was saying, my sister's at home watching Utembisa, she's going to be like, she cannot live with that dress.
Only if we can exchange, because there's a couple of items I want from her. So if you can do that, I'm cool.
I'll facilitate it. Have you ever been to a wedding where they don't play Ngihamba now?
You know, there's this question about Tabayibuza. They always say, is it even a real wedding if Ndamba Nawe is not playing?
Is it?
Should we trust that wedding?
I mean, do we sit and say, was this deed done? There's something that's missing, man. And when it plays, and I imagine sometimes you're a guest, you're sitting down, and then people are looking at you like,
yeah.
How do you react to that?
It's an amazing feeling. I mean, you know, marriage and getting married, it's such a sacred space. And when people allow you and bring you into that space, it's so, it's an amazing feeling. It's so humbling that, you know, even when people invite us to come and perform at their weddings, something that is so special. And what's fun is that when we recorded the song Ndamba Nawe, it was never the intention. You know, we never intended to perform at weddings or for it to be a popular wedding song. It was meant to be like a fun song, just like a clap song, you know.
Like literally, the party's over.
Yeah, like a party song, you know. So when that happened, it took a turn and it was amazing. Amazing, beautiful turn, yeah.
But I'm sure sometimes you forget the songs, like the catalog that you have. And then one day you somewhere and it's playing, you're like, oh my word, because something like, I mean, that song is I mean, I don't know if you guys perform it when you, like now, like let's say you've got a gig tonight. You wouldn't necessarily perform it because it's also an old song and we want to hear about Love Potion and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to sit and be like, hey, man, I've worked hard.
No, I mean, there's so many songs, our catalog. And it's always a problem when you go to a show and, you know, people, sometimes they go back disappointed and say, but you didn't perform this song and you didn't perform this song. So when we have a catalog that's as big as ours, it's quite challenging to decide on which tracks to perform. But we try by all means, you know, to please everyone and make sure people's favorites are in there. Yeah.
Is there a song that you cannot not perform? Even you like our guys, we can't leave this one. This is Mafikizolo, like, you know,
definitely Ndamba Nawe, definitely. Because that's one song that people, I think most of the people in South Africa, they don't know that that song actually took us across the borders, you know, of South Africa. That's the first song that took us to North Africa and, you know, East Africa and West Africa. And I mean, it's a song that even today people will send us, tag us on their posts and say, we're dancing to this song, we're in the States, we're in New York, we're in Australia, we're in, you know, and...
Yeah, there's choirs in Norway singing it.
Yeah. And the other day we performed it at Opikopi and people just went crazy, they went mad. And knowing Opikopi, that it's a multicultural,
I was at your
audience.
first performance for Opikopi. I was still in varsity.
Yes.
And I was so scared. I was like, oh, Thixo maphula mangaka, Thixo Mafikizolo abantu bethu. And then when you guys sang Emlanjeni, and I remember you had like, you even let your backup singers come forward and they did their own renditions of it.
Yes.
Yo, abalile abantwana bebelungu, guys. That's when I was like, okay, it's over. You guys have... Have you ever been scared to perform anyway, now that we're here?
You know, I think every performance is scary because you never know what to expect. And also with Mafikizolo, we perform at different events. Sometimes it's a jazz festival,
Sometimes
you know,
it's a
sometimes
corporate
it's
event.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's always different. But over the years, because you go to a corporate gig and you don't know what to expect and people are sitting down and they're eating and you're like, but why are they not, you know, feeling me? But it's a different environment, so we got to get used to that kind of an environment, and also we now know which songs to choose, what songs to perform, and also which songs to perform first. You know, for instance, if we're at a corporate gig, which songs to perform first, and then later on when people are done,
I can't sing corner whilst I'm having my lamb shank.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but I think, yeah, I think Cape Town Jazz is one of those shows whereby, because you know that the platform, you know, that you at is quite big, you know, and it's an international show, and you're sharing a stage with these big international names. So it's all, and the audience as well is quite amazing, and they would listen. It's one of those audience that listens to what you can do with your voice, and you know, what is it that you're gonna present
almost like
on
a
stage.
Like, we're like, yeah,
you know,
I need to tell you can sing.
So for that show, you really need to be ready. You need to be. It's one of those shows.
I mean, okay, so 20 years, right? In this year, you guys celebrating 20 years.
Yes.
Do you sit down and think back to some of your earlier gigs, and you're like, you know, if I'd known this then, I would have done things so much more differently or so much more better? Is there something that you're so glad you know now, but you, I mean, you wouldn't have minded knowing it back then?
I think obviously, you know, when we started out, we would perform with, you know, share a stage with big bands. Yeah. Like your Boom Shakas, your Tebe, you know, your Brothers of Peace and so forth.
Muffins.
And yeah, and I mean, it was quite challenging, and we took it personally that why are people not singing along to our songs? Why are people? But the thing is, with Mafikizolo, the stage performance has always been our priority, the way we present ourselves. So at times, people would just stare at us whilst we're performing and not sing and not do nothing. And we'd think people are not feeling us. And only later on, you know, we found out that, you know, the guys would come up to us, from your Tebe to your Oskido, they would come up to us and say, guys, your performance, you know, you can't do anything. You can't talk, you can't do nothing when Mafikizolo is on stage, because people are just glued to the stage. So it's not necessary, even for young and up and coming artists, it's not necessarily that people are not feeling your performance. It could be that
they're watching.
Yeah, they're watching, you know, they're paying attention.
Huh.
Yeah.
What? Look at that wisdom. So early on a Tuesday afternoon. Thank you so much, Ntlantla. She'll be sharing interesting and triumphant story with us a little bit later. She's not going away, don't worry. Remember to send us your 20-second voice notes to be part of the conversation. Do you know what I would do right now if I was you? I'd just send me singing Mafikizolo songs. Like that would be my life if I was on the couch right now watching this. After the break, I'll be talking to Umay Javane, which is songwriter, producer, singer, and family man Theo. He's one half of Mafikizolo. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Real Talk. Now, we were going to play you some music from Theo a little bit later. His song debuted at solo at #1, and that entire album was titled I Am, released in 2008. The album won him a SAMA for Best African Pop. Since then, Theo has released another solo album called Grateful. He has spent most of his life creating masterpieces for himself and his multi-award-winning band, Mafikizolo, and a lot of South African musical royalties such as Busim Hlongo, Dorothy Masuka, Hugh Masekela, and many others. Theo joins us now in studio to chat about life, love, and music, and where he gets his suits. Okay, because
I buy.
you can't just buy. Obviously, you buy and you have it tailored.
Yeah, I have it tailored. Most of my stuff are tailored, more especially my pants. You know, I think suits look very well when they are nicely tailored. Yeah. They look good on them.
Because everyone's like, oh, I've got my figures all on. They're like, I can't with the thing as a suit, man, because we go to shops and we can't find them. Because like you guys have done very well though at merging, because I find that when a musical act is very fashionable, they lack in the talent side, right? But then you guys have done it very well.
Yes.
Like your talent is high up there, and so is your fashion. Was that like a thought out process between you and Tlantla?
I think because we were starting out and we wanted, you know, to be recognized and seen beside our music, we then focused more on also the dance was most important part of it.
Yeah.
And then the fashion element came into it. Although we struggled a bit because we were still trying to find ourselves. We were wearing like spansola, then we changed. And
because we did a lot of video when you guys were all red. Listen,
we were trying so many
we
things.
went around everywhere looking for those red shades, eh?
And we tried so many things. I think when we did our album Sbongile, there was a song that we did, but it was a Marabi song, you know. And when we listened to that song, we just said like, okay, the music is quite interesting because it's music from the 50s and 60s, but we also look at the fashion element of that era. And that's when we started now to, you know, shape up now. We started having like, you know, your Kofifi style, your two-tone shoes, your big glasses and everything. And then it started gradually, you know, helping us to, you know, theme every cover that we did based on that era. And as we grew and started traveling the continent of Africa, then our image as well changed.
And how involved are other people in like the creative process when it comes to your covers and what you look like? Because I'd imagine you and Tlantla are like two peas in a pod. You're very close and it's very difficult to come in between you two. Like someone must think 3 times before they come in and speak sideways, right? So how involved are other people in that thought process?
I think it would start with us. Obviously, you know, we will talk. And based on the theme that we want to go with, we'll you know, work together with that. But I wouldn't say we don't allow people into our creative space, but it has to start with us, you know. And I think by the time anyone jumps in, we already halfway, you know, and it goes with music videos as well, you know. We do come with the directions of our music video. We also edit our music videos, and we also co-direct our music videos. We do.
Okay, and then in that style, what is Tlantla good at that you're not? Where you're like, okay, I'm strong at this, but that is all her, and I'm not even gonna touch her.
I think she's able to handle stress better than I do, because I can't handle stress. I'm too like, if we are supposed to be on stage, and maybe the crowd is not, you know, is waiting for us, and they becoming now rowdy. I feel like, guys, let's go on stage, whether the band is ready or not, like, you know. But she's able to calm me down, like, you know, calm down. She's able to handle things, you know, better than I do in terms of like anxiety and everything. So for me, like, I'm a panic mechanic.
I'm a panic mechanic. What's your traveling ritual? Because every time I look, you guys are on a plane. Like, I follow both you and her on Instagram. Jonga, you're on a runway, you are taking photos, you're on a plane, you're on a bus. You always somewhere. So surely there's like a travel ritual, something that you must do before you travel.
Not really. I think the most important thing that we must do, our manager makes sure that we don't forget our passports. That's number one. We don't forget. First thing, do not forget that, you know? But it's also important that because we travel a lot, that other things that we do not have to forget is make sure that you have just a mini, you know, a bag that has like medicine and you know, your things for allergy, for headache, and all those things, your mosquito things and stuff, because we travel a lot. So
and you everywhere.
those things are they're very
Malawi,
important.
and then you're in Kenya,
exactly.
and then you're in Nigeria, and then
and entertainment as well, because I always travel. They know I travel with my small speaker. If they want to come and join me in my room, they can come. But I make sure that entertainment is there.
So what practice are we
No.
This is what you're doing with practice. So we've got a video for you, a little bit of a message from somebody you may or may not know. Roll it.
My name is Gift. I grew up with you many years together, and even now he's still the same Theo I know. He's still humble, sweet, soft. He didn't change. He's still the same guy who don't want to visit me, who don't want to send me messages, who don't want to send me videos, new songs. He's the same guy who we grew up together, who taught me how to sing, but I couldn't make it. But I'm happy for him to be where he is today.
Who is Gift?
Yo, Gift is my childhood friend. And actually, I met him 2 days ago, Kokahiso, you know?
Really?
And I said, I'm sitting next to my manager, who's my friend as well, you know, but he became my friend later on. But Gift, I grew up with him, and he never used to have this deep voice. His voice was so sweet. But I grew up with him, and I think around that time, I wasn't into music. I used to play soccer, so I was more into soccer, you know.
Oh, no, let's get into
So, come on, but he's a good friend of mine. Yeah, thanks for the message. What a surprise. Yeah.
So then when does the music bug bite? When do you realize there's something here? Does somebody else see it in you before you see it, or do you see it?
I think, you know, growing up, I used to be a very active child, like play soccer, go to youth clubs, go to even a church choir. There used to be, you know, your tap and clap, you know, like Barusi Bamorena.
Yeah.
I used to do almost everything, from gambus dancing to everything, you know. So I used to go to gym and skip gym and go to the youth club. You know? So I was in between music and soccer, you know, until finally I decided that, you know what, I think I'm going this side, not because I wanted to leave soccer, but because I had an injury, and I felt like, you know what, maybe I should go better that side, because, you know, as a player, they know, as soccer players, it's difficult to recover and be the same player that you were, more especially when you keep getting injuries more often, you know. So my other love was music and songwriting, of course. So I just, you know, decided to stick with that.
When was the first time you got on stage?
As Mafikizolo.
No, as Theo.
Yo, I've been on stage with the guys, miming Boys to Men, you know.
Church choir.
We used to call ourselves Boys to Men, and as well as church choir, you know, and youth clubs as well, you know. I had that opportunity to be on stage, you know, but the biggest stage, of course, was with Mafikizolo. Yeah.
You know, there were so many of us and so many of you and maybe your friends' Gift. You guys would go to youth camp and you'd sing, and then you'd go to, like, you know, the culture clubs, go and you'd sing. What made you different? Why are you here and the other people aren't? Like, what did you do differently that got you here?
It's first thing I would say is passion, you know. I think they didn't have, you know, much passion that I had on music, not because they didn't love music, but I was more passionate in music, and I was always wanted to win, you know. I always saw myself as somebody, then when I start something, I felt like I want to win, I want to achieve something, you know. And even though when we were doing like your Boys to Men, I felt like we've been winning and winning and winning. Let me try something else. Let me try something different. Let me challenge myself and see whether can I get into the music industry. I also wanted to expose my songwriting skills, but back then it was difficult to just go to a record company and say like, I'm a songwriter, you know. So I thought of, you know, how about I start a band and I write within the band, you know. And that's how I met up with Ntanka, you know, at a talent search competition. And I felt like, you know, being within a group and being a songwriter with a group will really expose my talent, you know. And I ended up also, you know, singing, you know. But basically, I wanted to be that R. Kelly, Quincy Jones, babyface.
David Foster.
David Foster, you know what I mean?
You want to write?
That's my song on radio. That's my song on radio. But eventually, you know, the love of music as well, you know, and also taking a bold step. And I think during my solo career, it also said that, you know, you are able to do beyond what you're doing, you know. And I'm very excited about that. I'm able to write and I'm able to perform and on stage as well. Yeah.
So he wasn't always a singer. He wasn't always a songwriter. He had other jobs. After the break, we're going to look at the other things that this man did for a little bit of money. You want to hear this, so come back to us. Sorry, I'm busy singing along. I was busy telling Theo that this song was the national anthem 2002 in East London. Wow. So you're still watching Real Talk on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. It is said that music is a universal language, and if you want to see this in action, then obviously follow Mafikizolo on any of their tours. Go follow them on any continent that they touch ground on. I'm seated here with one half of the renowned music group Mafikizolo, Theo, and he is joined by his parents, Harold and Lorraine Khosinkwe. Yeah. Where are they? Parents, come in. Thank you. Thank you. Look at your face. Look at your face. Surprise. Surprise. Hello, Mom Lorraine, sit down next to you.
Are you feeling better? Are you
good? Hello, Rani. Oh, she sit down. She sit down. You must be like me. I'm a man. Okay. Ah, yeah, fix your men. Fix your men now. This is what you do. Now the entire country want to see these people that produce.
For the first time ever.
Really?
Ever.
They've never been with you on an interview?
Never.
Valid, because we want to know.
How did you agree to come
We want to know. We want to know. But Harold, we want to know, how was he when he was growing up?
Theo was quite a quiet somebody. Quiet in the sense that you really wouldn't know what he was thinking. But it came out that he was thinking music all the time. Yeah. Why I say he was thinking music is because he used to play football. And then he got injured at football. And he would also cry when Kaiser Chiefs lost. So he decided, that was his decision. He decided, now, oh, I think what I need to do, instead of crying, I must try something else. I'll sing. That's when he started singing. And he used to make a lot of noise at home.
When he sang?
And also, you'd know that it's Theo cooking because you'd smell the pot burning.
Because he's too busy singing.
Yeah.
So, now, Mama, when you see him performing, right, on TV and on stage, do you guys argue who does he get it from? I him.
Yes, I know. We argue because at my family, the singers at Papa's family, they're also singers. Yo. So both of us, he took it from the parents.
When were you the most proud of him? When you were like, my child saw my child fly?
That time with the Jamba now.
Ne? And when people come to you, actually, do people come to you and ask for tickets to their shows?
Yes, they do. They do.
So what do you say? Is there like a system, Theo? Is there a system where every month they're allocated tickets for the family to get?
I know my parents and my younger brother as well. So they will, if people know them, they'll ask them for CDs, they'll ask them for tickets and everything, And sometimes because it comes from my parents, I feel bad. I have to either give a CD or either, try to give tickets to the show and stuff, Yeah. They're also celebrities in a way because, when they see me, it's like, Theo's dad, Theo's mom, But my biggest fan was my granny, my grandmother who passed on. That was my biggest fan.
Did you ever have a fear that this wouldn't happen, that you would not be as successful as you are? Was there ever like that, let me let me see if I can find a plan B?
I actually, there has been like a challenge. Obviously, when you come, when you complete your studies and you still, want to find a job, or you try to find something, and you're struggling to find a job, and you're asking yourself, what's next? What can I do next? And you always worry, And I remember with the first time we released the first album of Mafikizolo, it didn't work well. The second album didn't do that well, and you always like, worry and wonder whether you've chosen the right career. But I think patience, and determination, and the passion that you have for what you do, and always believing that something will come out. And I would also like to recommend Oscar, because he was that person,
who kept you going,
who kept us going. No, we'll get the right song. Don't worry. That's how I think Loot came about, And we tried something different for the first time, and this track Lotto, and it became a popular song. Yeah.
So, Papa, for you, was there ever a time when you were like, wait, just go get a proper job, you can sell houses, you can be a school teacher, you can sell shoes, but this music thing, I said it.
I must say it the way it is. We decided that we are not going to choose for our kids what to do. Because if things don't go well, like they always sometimes don't go well, they'll come back and blame us. I didn't want to do this.
True.
So we left it to them, and thanks God it worked out.
Yeah. Mama says,
yes,
Yeah,
I didn't want you to sing.
Why not?
I just took it like, something that is useless, that is not going to give, to pay him money. I wanted to be a teacher or something, but not to sing.
But now?
I didn't know which is Africa la Pycon.
Yes, ma'am.
But today, I'm proud. I'm proud of Theo and Tlantla.
And you got another daughter now. Do you see what's happening? You never used to have one, and now Tlantla is just a daughter for you as well.
Yes. They grew up together.
Yeah, she's always been a daughter.
Yeah.
And Modisa as well. Obviously, we used to hang in my house and, and practice in my house.
Practice at our garage.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. If I may come in.
Yes, please.
This is also going to be the second surprise. Ntlantla and Theo, they should expect an invoice from me and my wife for using our garage.
For rent?
Yeah.
and electricity.
Yeah.
When you get the invoice.
You guys.
But before we go, I mean, when you make it and you're successful and you get the money, finally you can buy your parents something.
Yeah.
What are you the proudest of being able to have bought for them?
What I can say that I'm really proud of, that I've done for my parents, is that I've always been supportive of my parents in everything that they wanted to do, and I've always looked up to my dad, because one thing that my dad that I know is that if he's focused on something, and I know my parents, when they want something, you like nice things. Eh?
Good.
Yes, we do.
Good.
They love nice things, If I would say to them, no, I want to buy you this, and it's not exactly how they want it, they're not going to take it. So they always challenge me to always strive for the best. Don't look, I shouldn't start here and then I go there. I always, if I'm there, then I can drop here, So they always look forward to, something, dream of something bigger, So I've always had that idea that I need to place my goals higher, instead of limiting myself. Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to go for an ad break. Thank you so much. You guys were absolutely wonderful. Mom Lorraine, Bob Harold, Theo.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can't tell old people what to do, guys. They'll do what they want to do. If they want to walk, they'll walk. Leave them alone. Yeah, leave them alone. Now they're going to walk. Yeah. No, you see. What must happen? What must happen? After the break, we're coming back. Santa's coming back, and then there's going to be a Mafikizolo performance. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, Ngiyalifuna Napoli Puma Ngiyalifuna Libuyisele
Sesi Rose Sesi Ulise Talala mi Libuyisele Napoli Tate.
So was it a party if this song didn't play? Was it a party? Welcome back to Real Talk on SABC3. The stage is yours with accolades such as a nomination in the BETs as well as the EMA Awards, winning various summers, MTV, Mobo, Nigerian and Ghana Music Awards. Mafikizolo are not about to slow down. Tanta's back on the couch. So listen, if you want to win yourself 2 double tickets to see Mafikizolo live at Silver Star Casino on the 2nd of December, make sure you're tweeting us at Real Talk on 3. So I asked Theo this and I didn't ask you, so I want to ask you, what is he good at that you're not? Because he says you are, you don't have an anxiety, you don't panic, you are organized. If something is going wrong, it looks to you.
Yeah.
So what's he got your back to when it happens?
He is a perfectionist. So even though I fight with him at times because, you know, I do something once and I believe it's fine, it's okay, and he's going to come back and he's going to point out little mistakes and things, you know. But it's good because the outcome now becomes, you know, amazing. But he pays attention to detail.
Yeah.
He's that kind of a person and he is punctual.
Ah.
He is always on time.
He's there at the airport 2 hours before the flight.
Like,
and he's
you
like,
know.
So obviously the perfection side helps you a lot because I find your clothes, and I mean even in vintage, the ones that you sell as your clothing line, to be such, Jonga, execution is so pristine. It's like they were made by Germans. Huh? They're like, everything is perfect. So that rubbed off on you.
It does. It does. Especially, you know, if you've been with a person for such a long time.
Yeah.
You know, you get to learn some of their good qualities. And you know, it teaches you to change and you grow, you know, and you become better.
I know
and
that.
I think he does the same as well.
I know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's Jackie Mofu?
Sheki Mafu.
Mafu.
That's my dad.
Okay, and who is Nomufu Ngiza?
Nomafu Ngiza.
Nomafu.
Mama zala wam.
Mama zala wakho.
Yes.
Wena umakoti wapha.
Indumakoti wapha.
Umolokazana wapha. Okay, so they're here. Can we please welcome them onto the stage? Jackie's here. And Mama Zala is here. Oh, please. Bonang Roko, guys. Hey, man. Hey. These Antanta's people, huh? Now you have to sit down and introduce yourselves to us. We want to know who everyone is. You can sit.
You okay?
Yes.
Oh,
you can squeeze. Oh, I was worried my couch is not going to be big enough. Thank God. Kiago society in couch A. Everyone can fit in it. How do you fit into the cycle of life?
Oh, my name is Dr. Miyamizeli Shafta. I'm Tlantlangwiza's best friend.
Oh, bestie. Okay, Mama wena?
Mine is Nomafu Ngiza.
Mama Zala.
I'm Tandile's mother.
Tandile's mother. So nina namkisa utsiki usis enamnxibisa wasela mas. Okay. And yes, Mama?
I'm Khadifeli Mafu. Oh, I'm Khadifeli Mafu.
And you are?
I'm the mother.
Okay. So this is your fruit. This fruit yako len. Linimba lako el. And Babu Cheki, you are the father.
Yes, I am the father.
Okay, so a microphone to you.
Yes.
How did we know that this one was talented? What said to you, yay, nangu Brenda Fast?
Well, she used to mime Brenda Fast's Wajaka songs, and she would attend some competitions where she won lot of trophies. And there was a time when she conducted a school choir, which came back with a Sowetan, I don't know Sowetan what, but it was a trophy.
All right. So as a mother-in-law, right, obviously sometimes, because I know some mothers don't want their sons to marry these famous girls, like, hey, asafuna abazaba kushwashwa on a Sunday, sana kuthiwa ube iphai egarage. This is our surname. How did you feel when your son was like, nangu ngimfunayo?
No, I am a straightforward person. I didn't like the idea. I didn't like it at all. But when I was introduced to her on the 16th of December 2003, I fell in love with her. I accepted her before I loved her. Because she was carrying my granddaughter in her stomach. I fell in love with her until now.
Because, as the entire country, we were in love with her. Now you were like, now I see what all these people love. I see what my son loves. Huh?
Yes, let's say so.
Yeah. Okay, Pesti, how did you guys meet? And what are the fringe benefits of being the What do you get for free? Where do you get in? Where do you get to fly?
I met Tuntla 18 years ago in Cape Town. I was studying at UCT, a medical school. We met through a friend, a mutual friend, and then he introduced me to Ntla, who came with Ufezego, who is the other friend of ours.
Yeah.
And then at that time, they were still promoting album yabo that was the Lotto, and the Bangaziwa at that time. So they came, and then Sahamba Nabo to that club, performer group. Guess what? There were about 5 or 6 people there. But they performed. And after that we chilled and then we had fun. This is what I like about Mafikizolo, because they're hard workers. Look, 20 years ago, but look at them now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the same way they performed for those 5 is how they perform when there's 100,000 people in the crowd.
You know what?
Yeah.
I attend most of their gigs.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, it's like it's for the first time I'm there.
Ne?
They are. Bye. So,
Mama, which is your Mafikizolo song? Even everyone must know. Magdala yona haike yam ke ngokule.
Ndihamba now.
Hey, undihamba nawe guys. Popular, eh? Mama Zala when I pay ngom.
Ndihamba nawe.
Amen. Daddy?
Corner.
Oh, corner, ne?
Yeah.
Abases patin. What's your Mafikizolo song?
I like Sibongile and Kukutandayo.
Okay. So for you, where is this going? Like, where do you see the dreams? I mean, you're known on an international level. You know, the Germans are going crazy over you guys. You guys are in London, they're loving you guys. You guys are big all over Africa. Where's your dream taking you?
I mean, yes, there's still, we have achieved a lot, but there's still, that we, things that we want to achieve. Like, I don't think we'll ever rest until we hold that Grammy award. That's the vision that we have, Theo and myself, and we pray about it, and hopefully it will happen. Personally, I want to focus on supporting young and up-and-coming artists. I want to support young and up-and-coming designers, especially females, because I still believe, that there's a lot to do in this industry, the music industry, that, young females don't know about. They don't know that they can shoot music videos and become directors. They don't know that they can become sound engineers, They don't know that they can actually become musicians and play guitars and become drummers, So those are the things that I want to focus on. I launched my record label about a year ago, and that's going to be my focus, but also giving a platform to young and up-and-coming designers, and just giving them a chance in working towards their dreams and achieving their dreams,
I trust you, because even on your shows, you and Theo always step aside and you let your backup dancers and you let your musicians show off and show their talent. So when you say you want to uplift other people, I believe you. I absolutely believe you. Thank you so much, guys, for all your time. What a blessing this is. We met the people who helped shape the stars that we love. Thanks so much, Nhlanhle's dad, mother-in-law, mom, bestie, for spending time with us. After the break, Mafikizolo will do what they do best, Kesana. They're going to be on this very stage, and they're going to celebrate the 20 years that they've been around. Do not go away. Yeah, when I was standing, we're ready, Baba. We're ready. Welcome back to Real Talk on SABC 3. The stage is yours today. The stage belongs to one of the country's cultural and musical ambassadors. On the 2nd of December, Mafikizolo fans can expect a once-in-a-lifetime concert celebrating their 20-year milestone. It's at Silver Star Casino. We are giving away tickets to that. Make sure you tweet us at Real Talk on 3. We want to know more about the special performance. So 20 years. You have to sing every song, hey? Nongda Gwanjalo. When I stand
like a 6-hour performance.
Oh no! Okay, so what can we expect though?
Amazing energy on stage. Our band is going to be bigger. The dancers are going to be, you know, more dancers. And yeah, obviously there's going to be fashion, a lot of dancing, a lot of singing along, you know.
Do you not get people who come up to you in the street and they start showing you moves because they just want to be your backup dancers?
I think they want. Maybe I think they approach Theo for that one.
No, they do want to sing. They do want to be backup vocals. You know, they do want to dance for us. So yeah, they do.
It's always open. It's always open. And then on Friday, you're launching your album. The first single is Love Potion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the album called?
The album is called 20. And it's going to be out nationwide in all digital platforms. Also, all the music stores is going to be out. And also Friday, if you want to come see Mafikizolo, will be signing at Mall of Africa. Mall of Africa in Midrand. So if you want to come through, come listen to the new tracks. We'll be performing a couple of tracks.
New ones.
So, you know. What time? A free concert,
from 3 until 5. 3 until 5, yeah. Mall of Africa. So come through, we'll sign your CD for you, we'll take pictures, and you'll get to see Mafikizolo perform a couple of songs.
Okay, that is a great deal if I've ever heard one. Friday, Mall of Africa, 3 o'clock. 20 is the album that they're launching. You can get it on all digital platforms. Make sure that you buy it. You can buy the hard copy and you can get it signed by Mafikizolo themselves. Thank you so much to Theo and Nhlanhla for 2 decades of fantastic music, fashion, signature dance move, wonderful memories, humility, great personalities. Like we say, this Friday they're releasing that album, so make sure that you get it. Right now, we're giving you a little taste of the good stuff. Mafikizolo performing the song that's got everybody across the continent going loco. This is Love Potion. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, what you say? Hey, what in this? Look at this, look at this. Hey, what you say? Hey, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
My baby, I've been thinking about you. Hey, you know that I love you, baby. I'm phoning home when I want you, baby. I go do anything for you. Hey, stand beside me. My baby, I've been thinking about you. What is it that you done to me, oh? Hey, Jarona Tawanga, Lala Tetanga. Did you pour me a love potion, oh?
Hey,
my baby, I can't stop thinking about you.
What?
Undens Antonio. Hey, Kutenga Lepsuku. Western Samie. My baby, I've been thinking about you. Undens Antonio. Hey, Kutenga Lepsuku. Western Samie. My baby, I've been thinking about you.
I say, Shoki, Shoki, Shoki. What's it? Shoki, Wogumutu.
Shoki.
There we go. Like this. like this, wind this. I say, why you say, why you say, why you say, why you say, hey.
Baby, there's no one but you. All that I need, baby, is you. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I cannot imagine life without you. Stand where some, I'm thinking about you. Hey. Dikala ndithetha ngawe, dikala ndiphupha ngawe. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Only decent, only love. Hey. I just can't stop thinking about you.
I said, suck it.
Baby, all I want is you.
It's you?
Baby, there's no one but you. Go by, you give me the juice. Give me the juice. Dance and only love.
What you say?
I just can't stop thinking about you.
Everybody sing along. Let's go.
Dance and only love.
Everybody says stand or some, we go say
stand or some, yeah. My baby, I've been thinking about you.
One more time, Undenza Tony.
Undenza Tony, oh.
Good tell me. What you say? Let's go. Hey.
Stand or some, yeah. My baby, I've been thinking about you.
I say shocky. Say, hey, shocky. Wangumoto. Hey, shocky. Let me go.
Like this.
What you say? Hey. Let's go. Let's say.
Undenza Antonio.